Welcome to episode 195 of the Lone Hockey Podcast, where today we're going to be talking about some standouts in today's matchup between Ottawa and New Jersey, and another slip up from the Devils, and they didn't win the other day, and this game against Ottawa was a tough one. They were close, and it ended up being close for majority of the game, and Ottawa ended up winning in regulation 2-1. So Ottawa lately they've been on a roll and they've been playing much better hockey lately, and it feels like a lot of the Canadian teams have done so, whereas it's been interesting to see with some of the other teams and how New Jersey's been kind of a bit on a cold streak lately, but I'm sure at some point they'll get back to where they usually are in terms of their standings and how they produce and how they generate offense. But we'll start with some standouts on New Jersey side. I thought the Hughes brothers were two of few standouts, and obviously you get Luke Hughes, who's really noticeable throughout this game, really noticeable in transition, really noticeable offensively. I thought he was doing a good job carrying the puck, but also possessing it and being able to make plays in both directions as a two-way D. I feel like every game, I've said this before, but I feel like every game I've watched of Hughes, he just continues to get better. He continues to evolve. He continues to, at the same time, make more mistakes, but that's kind of a good thing for a young defenseman because it forces him to learn. And I feel like Hughes has just done a good job adapting to the league and done a much better job adapting to the league over the course of time, and just has become very noticeable as a offensive defenseman in terms of activation, coming down the walls, coming downhill, and coming down the flanks in the ozone and being able to work the perimeter a little bit more in terms of his ozone movement. And I feel like he's just done a better job over the course of time at being able to sustain that and being able to make an impact on many different situations. And then Tomas Tatar, who had the lone goal for New Jersey in this game, showcasing his speed, his skill, his flair, his tenacity, and just really noticeable around the net, really noticeable in terms of his checking details down low and deeper in the offensive zone, and a guy who plays a really noticeable all-around game and a steady defensive presence when need be. And Tatar is a guy you can rely upon in many different situations, and a guy who can be a shutdown guy, but also an offensive guy. And then some Ottawa standouts I thought I'm trying to get his name right. Zach Ostapchuk was really noticeable throughout the game for them. And obviously, at his first goal, he was playing really well. I thought he was really noticeable. And I thought offensively, he was showcasing a lot of hard skill, good tenacity, good checking ability as well. And I really like Shane Pinto's game. I feel like if you look at his game and how it's evolved, he's really evolved offensively, but he's also evolved even more, I would say, defensively, in terms of being a true two-way center who can be a centerman and reliable center for the Sens inside their top nine, and a guy who can be, you can put him on your third line, you can put him on your second line, you can even put him on your first line as a center. I feel like he's got a lot of versatility in many different ways and just was very noticeable overall. I thought he played a really good game. And Artem Zub was another guy I thought was really noticeable. I don't usually notice him that often. He's more of a shutdown guy and more of a defensive style guy, but at the same time showed really good offensive in this game. Instincts were noticeable. I thought his offense in transition was noticeable. His puck movement was noticeable. He had a heads up awareness with the puck on his stick, and he was doing a good job making stretch plays, stretch passes, and being able to stretch plays in the neutral zone as well. And then Drake Batherson is one more guy I thought was really noticeable. And I've noticed Batherson every single game this season. He's been very productive so far. Just very exciting to watch. Very exciting as an all-around forward. One of the league's most underrated players in terms of his all-around ability. And he's just so steady, but also so reliable in so many different situations. So you get a guy like that who he is a top-line winger and who can play so many different situations. He's just been so crucial, so underrated for this team, so reliable for this team on a regular basis as well. He's just one of the more impactful players that goes a little bit more unnoticed compared to some of the other stars that you notice all around the league today as well.